or 60, the Sunday Department of Business and Professional Regulation does not work on Saturdays and Sundays in Tallahassee. And you cannot get any registered mail, any mail whatsoever from Poinciana and Tallahassee in a day. It doesn't happen. We can get Federal Express overnight, but that's the best you can do. And so as a result, the attorneys have filed an appeal on that, and that appeal is being heard at this point in time. Other lawsuits that are involved, back in December, there was a complaint filed against the Poinciana Villages, Village 1, and against Avatar. That complaint was heard in the 10th District Circuit Court in April. The court said, no, for instance, Poinciana Villages is made up of not just homeowners, but also some other people. And so, as a result, the judge said, I'm going to give you 20 days to refile that. That complaint has been refiled. State law requires that before a complaint gets into court, there must be mediation. They requested mediation take place starting in April. The APB was not available up until, I think the earliest date the APB said they were available was the 22nd of July. That date was not acceptable because I'm not in town, Peter Jolly is not in town. And so we now have a date of the 15th, and so we will have mediation for that lawsuit on the 15th. Last but not least, from a legal standpoint, there's been a lot of issues about the way the assessments for past due homeowners have been handled in Poinciana. There was a company called First 100 that was hired to do that. First 100 has had some issues as far as bankruptcy. They've had multiple issues with homeowners not being able to find out who they're supposed to make payments to. As a result, the payments have not been able to be made. As a result, the payments have escalated as far as the amount owed. It's been a really nasty situation. Senator Darren Soda has agreed to file a complaint with the Chief Financial Officer with the state of Florida about that. The issue is that there are certain laws in Florida having to do with the way debts can be handled. One of which says that when a debt is transferred from one company to another, that is, when a debt is sold, the person who owes that money must be notified of who it is that they're supposed to pay the money to. If that notification doesn't take place within a certain period of time, that's a violation of the law. And that's the issue that Senator Soto was taking forward. We'll have to see how that has to go. Other issues as far as Poinciana is concerned, the Poinciana Parkway has been open since May. They've been charging tolls since the 1st of May. The estimated number of cars that they would have per day once they started charging tolls was about 1,200 cars per day. The actual number of cars that they've had per day since the 1st of June, when they started charging for the tolls, is 5,500 cars per day. So they are bringing in twice the revenue as what they expected on that parkway. And the trends seem to be going upwards. If that's the case, that will make it a lot easier for them to sell bonds, which are desperately needed to build the additional roads that we need, particularly the connector to I-4, the connector to the Florida Turnpike. For those of you who have gone up Marigold and picked up the Poinciana Parkway and ridden on that, there's an extension to the Poinciana Parkway that will connect directly to Cypress Parkway. That will be open, they are now saying, by the end of September. It's supposed to be open in January of next year. They've moved that up now. They're officially saying in September. If you looked at the construction, it's moving along pretty well. And that will make a big difference. That will be a 10-mile shot from Cypress Parkway up to 1792. And that is 60 miles an hour. It's a 55 speed limit. But most people who drive on that road do 60 miles an hour. And it's absolutely great because there's just no stop sign. So with that, unless there's any questions, I thank everybody.
It's August 15th, correct?
August 15th is when the mediation session is supposed to be taking place. I had a conversation with the mediator about that, and they assured me that it's going to take place on that day. So we'll see what happens with that, and then if mediation is not successful, then it's on the court. then I know we get to the end goal.
The nomination sometimes spend days, weeks, and
Yeah.
months.
No, it typically, they charge $400 an hour. And so, both sides have every incentive in the world, to make that thing happen in a number of hours. And, they're expecting that it'll be done in a day. Now, how long it'll take to get that scheduled, that's a different story. We were supposed to have started scheduling it back in April, and now we have it scheduled on the 15th. And I had some very interesting conversations with the mediator about that, and she's not a fan of the attorneys as far as that is concerned. Because she feels like they got their own down the mouth. Okay?
Thank you.
I have to leave. I apologize. I have a new roof on my house, and my dog is going nuts.
Thank you for your report.
Okay.
Okay, well, I see we have two candidates for the political office. So, ladies first. Ms. Valerie Crabtree.
I think I know all of you. I don't need that. Do I need that? I need that. Well, we have signs. And this is what our signs look like. It's right to the point. Vote Crabtree for Congress, August 30th, Democratic primary. Now, you know, we're down here to crunch time. You all have seen me here at your meetings over and over and over and over again because Crabtree shows up. You may have noticed that hashtag if you're on our Facebook page. You know, there's a number of things I'd like for you to consider as you go to the polls and you talk to your friends about who you're going to vote for and who your friends and family should vote for on August 30th. First off, you have to be registered either as a Democrat or a Republican in order to even vote in the closed primary on August 30th. I assume that you're all aware of this. So if you are not registered, and I hope you'll register as a Democrat, and I hope you'll vote for me, and I'm sure Dr. Vinnie would like you to vote for him too, but if you are not registered, then you have until the end of this month to register. And if you wish to change your political party from, for instance, Republican to Democrat, then you have until the end of the month to do that. You would have to go to the supervisor of election office in order to do that. And that sounds like an awful lot to do, but I'll tell you something, it's worth it. And here's why it's worth it. We're going to be spending about $60,000 on our Crabtree for Congress campaign. Now that sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it? I mean, $60,000 sounds like a lot of money. And at the end of this campaign, Valerie will have no savings because most of that $60,000, I'd say about 2/3 of it, has come from me. Now I'm not whining about it, don't get me wrong, because that's a choice I made. And I made that choice because I did not want to spend my time. And to me, it is something that I've given a lot of thought and, frankly, a lot of prayer to. Going to people with all these fundraising letters and having my hand out all the time, asking for money. And I never, ever thought for a second that we were going to have a high, we were going to need a lot of money. Because we've always just needed enough. In my whole life, I've just needed enough. And I work, and I work just like the rest of you all, many of you who are not retired, but you work. And so therefore, when I look at $60,000, I think, yeah, that's a lot of money. You know, college professors, they don't make a lot of money. And the kind of law that I practiced, I didn't make a lot of money. And I was an entrepreneur in Ohio, and I speak at churches. I do all those kinds of things. None of those are high-earning things that I do. I've always been involved in volunteerism and involved in my community. And those things don't help you make money. But they give you a sense of appreciation for service. And that is why I chose to run for Congress. And that is because I view that position as one of service. And that is why I'm so involved in the communities, is for service. And here's the thing that I think we need to think about. Here I am with a campaign of spending no more than probably $60,000 by August 30th. Now, of course, when I'm successful on August 30th, I'll be spending more. But as of August 30th in the primary, I'm only going to be spending about $60,000. And one of the reasons why I haven't had that much money is because I won't take money from any PAC, any special interest, anyone that can own me. Because the only people that should own me are the people in Florida Congressional District 9. That's it. And you are the people that are going to hire me. I am all about constituent-centered values. You will be hiring, and I will be working for you, not the other way around. And it is a position of service, not another step in a career path to become a politician forever and ever and ever. I'm 59 years old. If I am fortunate enough to be elected, I can tell you I'm only going to spend a maximum of 3 terms in Congress. That is a guarantee. You got that on tape? I can't imagine being over 65 and still being in Congress. My God, what an awful way to end up dying. It's like being in Congress for like ever and ever and ever. Because you see, it should not be another step in a career path. People who run for Congress who are looking for that next step in their career path, you need to question how much is your interest going to be in heart when they have to make a decision that is going to affect their future career in Congress versus what you need in Congressional District 9. And to me, that's a really important thing to think about. Because when someone is going to have to be in Congress for that next step in their career, and there are people that have been in Congress for 50, 60 years. They died in Congress. Robert Byrd had to be brought in on a stretcher because he was like 90-some years old. What? What?
Service!
Right. Anyway, so my point is that I think we need to really give a lot of thought to 2 things. We need to give a lot of thought to what is the rationale that someone is running. Why are they running for any position, whether it's Congress or any other position? Are they running because they want to be of service to their constituents, or are they running for another step in a career path? Secondly, I think you should educate yourself on the amount of money that is being spent, and I'll speak to Congressional District 9 right now. I am being swamped with the amount of money that's being spent. And that's okay with me, because you know something? I am here this evening. I'm here, and anybody else could be here too, couldn't they? Anybody could be here tonight.
Absolutely.
But I am here. So instead of looking for endorsements for people who are already in Congress, so I could be beholden to them, and by the way, those endorsements, they're not free. You're beholden to that person because they helped you out. And instead of chasing money, I'm here. I'm here to make sure I understand the issues, I know what's going on, and even knowing that there needs to be a flashing light so that people don't get tickets. That may seem a little trivial, but you know something? You need to drill down into what is important to your constituents, even when you're in Congress. And I don't know how else you do that if you don't show up and participate. So I hope that you all think about this, because we are getting to the point where a decision has to be made. And that decision is going to be made on August 30th in the Democratic primary because of math. Mathematics will dictate that the person who wins the Democratic primary on August 30th is the person that you are going to be sending to Congress. because there are so many more Democrats than Republicans in Congressional District 9. That is why I urge you all to vote in the Democratic primary as Democrats. You still have time to do it if you're not a Democrat now, on August 30th. And I really would appreciate it if you would vote for me. And if you don't know enough about me, there's a brochure back there. I've got a Facebook page. I'm very active on social media so that you know what is going on with our campaign and with our life. And I would like for you, please, to help me out by taking the Crabtree for Congress sign and putting it in your yard. I would really, really appreciate it. And for those of you that will allow me, I'd like to have a picture of you when you're taking that sign tonight. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and I'm glad you invited me to this meeting because you know I always want to come to stay in touch with what's going on here. Thank you very much.
Dr. Benny, your turn.
Well, good evening, everybody. How we doing? Happy to be here. I actually had another meeting to go to today with the NAACP.
NAACP.
Right? I'm sorry. But
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
messing
like
it up.
the community hasn't been together in a while.
You can say NAA, or you can say NAACP. Yeah.
But being the fact that we haven't gotten together, right? I thought it was more important to come here and find out what's going on and what they they'll have their meeting next month. I'll try to make it to next month there. But anyway, well, we got good news. I don't have a primary, so I'm the Democratic nominee for state representative for District 42. I gotta just focus now on making sure that I get to meet everybody in this district. It's one of the largest districts in all of Florida. Because it's got 5 communities in Polk County: Lake Wells, Lake Hamilton, Benson, Frostproof, a little bit of Lake Lake that's at the borderline. And then it's got all of St. Cloud, parts of Osceola County, Bobby Creek Road, a little bit of 192, all of Pleasant Hill Road down to Poinciana, about half of Poinciana, a quarter of Solivita. So it's a large area to cover. The good news is that aside from St. Cloud and a little bit of Poinciana, my opponent has never really ever even visited or stepped foot in the other places, especially in Polk County. So when I've been going there, they know my face now, they know who I am, so that's good, being that I'll be the first one knocking those doors. But we're having some progress, we're moving forward. I don't have signs yet, just like Valerie Crabtree. I have not been filling out those questionnaires. I get about 3 questionnaires a week. And anytime you get these questionnaires, first of all, you have to sit down and read them, and you have to do some studying behind them. You just can't, some of those questions have to do with state laws and different stuff, so you have to study them. And when I study them, and I finally sit down to go filling them out, it makes a candidate promise themselves to an idea, to that organization, and if they even give you $5, you better believe that they're going to call you out in the future saying, you answered this question, you promised yourself to this, time to pay up. So a lot of those questionnaires I've done filled out because it's against my beliefs, it's against, like the NRA. The NRA sends me one every week, and the first question it asks you is, are you going to pass legislation to ban assault rifles? And I said, hell yeah, I am. We don't need people with 100-round clips walking into places. I mean, that's common sense. I am NRA certified, okay, as a shooter, and I also have a concealed weapons license. Okay, I teach it at my school. Okay, so I'm for the Second Amendment, but nobody should have a military-grade rifle with 100 rounds in every clip. That's not self-defense, and that's not hunting. Self-defense, I have self-defense. I got 15 bullets to defend me, my wife, and my kids. If 15 bullets doesn't do it, okay, you're in real trouble. So, but it's like Valerie Crabtree says, her opponents have $500,000, $600,000 in the bank already. My opponent has 140. $100,000 in the bank already. But when you go to the contributions, you can go to Florida House, or the candidate listing, and you can find out who's giving them money. Pharmaceutical companies, companies that are for fracking, okay? All the sugar industry, which now we have this problem with the algae, okay? So all these companies are the ones that are contributing to them. That is not free, just like she said. I've been self-funding my campaign, even though I have more than $10,000 I've already reported of my own income, and I took out another small loan, and I'm already over like 20 grand. And it's not easy, that's why I don't have my signs yet. Luckily, I don't have a primary, so there's not a need to rush out. But I'm trying little by little, and as you guys notice, I don't bombard anybody's email, asking for money. I might do it once a month. But just keep in your prayers, keep it going. Hopefully by next week, we'll have the signs in. It's about a couple of $1,000 just to get a couple of 100 signs. What I will ask you tonight to know is this. I've had a problem because before you can put up a sign, you have to ask. And as you see, my opponent, he has already got signs all over the place. Well, those are properties owned by Avatar or AV Homes and all that. So guess what? They're not gonna let me put up a sign. So I need you guys to help me. I've asked in some of the places, and they don't tell me no directly, but because they don't want to get in trouble. But it's kind of like the feeling already that in Poinciana, because I'm so famous of coming out in the news and fighting against this HOA, obviously I've been already told that I'm gonna have a hard time here putting up my signs and promoting myself. So if you know anybody that owns a house on one of these roadways that has a fence or anything, and you know them personally, ask them if they can, put up one of my signs, and I'll give them up to you guys. It's gonna be a little challenging here, but luckily I live in this community, so we'll be able to get the good word out here. I'm just fighting on the other end. Last thing to close, you haven't really seen a lot of new campaigns here in Poinciana that you guys, it's not that I don't value you guys, but you haven't really even heard much about me posting on Facebook. I want you to be aware of something. Keith was here, he left, but one thing that I am doing on a week-to-week basis is I'm continuing the fight with this homeowners association. We were in Darren Soto's office and other legislators' office. I formed a group, a coalition of homeowners, because I'm already preparing a bill, my first bill for legislation called the Homeowners Protection Act. So if nobody wants to do anything about 720, which is the Florida statute that governs homeowners association, I want to pass another bill that strengthens the rights of the homeowners here. We have rights. It's just there's no Florida statute to defend them other than civil court. But when we were in that meeting, the group that I have together is right now 7 homeowners that have been in court, that have tried to pay, that the judge has dismissed the case in court, and now they don't know who to pay. All those postings you see with the court documents, that the deck that was sold here was sold to 9 different companies. I'll let you guys know, I was the one that got that information. I dedicate 1 to 2 hours a week just looking court documents. I found out that there was lawsuits in North Carolina. I found out the lawsuits in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I had found the trail. And every week I have 2 or 3 hours. Every other week we have a meeting with these other homeowners. So when we show up to any meeting with a legislator, a senator, a congressman, we're showing up with all our documents to prove to them that every one of us is trying to pay this money, but we're not allowed to pay. And some of them have already agreed. We have 6 complaints with the Federal Trade Commission with 6 homeowners. Then we have this new one that we took up with Darren Soto, who's going to make another complaint to the Chief Financial Officer. And that is, if we can't get you one way, we're going to get you, we're looking for all these ways on how they're breaking the law. And one of the things that I proposed, and that was what was proposed in that meeting that day, was that according to the Fair Debt Collection Act, if my debt is assigned or sold, they have 30 days to inform me by mail, certified mail, that my debt was not only sold or assigned. And when they say assigned, it means they hired a collection company. That's the same thing. They have to give me that notice within 30 days before they can start a procedure to collect that money from me. Everybody's debt was sold here.
The whole association would not start the collection. So if it went to that collections agency, you're saying the collection agency got to tell you first?
Yep.
And then the collection agency in 30 days can
Two
start.
notices. APB's gotta send me a notice within 30 days, and they gotta send me in 30 days. And one of the things that we were able to prove was that APB sent out a letter saying, if you don't pay within 45 days, we're gonna place a lien on your property. Then they sent another letter saying that within 90 days. So they contradicted themselves. It's only 45 days. That's first of all. Second of all, they didn't say that my debt was assigned or sold. And when they took me to court to foreclose, the foreclosure notice and the court document said APB foreclosing on Benny Valentine. Yet it's already been proven in 3 separate courts that APB does no longer own my debt. They don't have any rights to collect on it. Okay? Those rights belong to First 100, but now First 100 resold that debt to 8 separate companies. In fact, they're all suing each other because they're all saying, no, you promised me $5 million of that. You promised me $3 million of that. In fact, if you look at the court documents I posted, they've already negotiated 2017's assessment. Now that shows criminal intent to not let anyone repay because they're taking out a loan from one company saying, we already got the rights to buy that debt. Okay? How do you have the rights to buy that debt? There's never been a board meeting held to sell the 2017 debt yet. So how do you have rights? Well, those are the deals that are going on the table. APB has several deals on the table to sell future rights out. And First 100 is saying, we don't have no more money, so lend me money so I can buy this debt because I'm the only one that has the rights to buy it. And when I buy it, I'll give you a piece of that debt. So it's very confusing and complicated, but I will tell you this. There's not a week that I'm not in somebody's office fighting about this. That's one of the things that I've done in the campaign trail is make sure that this is one of the main issues that I'm fighting for. Because if you guys don't know this by now about me, I'm not interested in another title. I'm not really interested in the position or the money. I'm interested in what I can do to save my home, okay? And help the community out because I've already seen a couple of my neighbors be foreclosed upon. And it breaks my heart that middle class, hardworking people that don't bother nobody lose their home for $200, you know? And I want everybody to help me get the word out also that I live in this community. My daughters attend school within this district. I've been here for 12 years since I got to my husband. My opponent does not live in District 42. And I've known this for a while now, but it's time that we let it know. He does not live in District 42. His kids don't attend school in the district. He lives in Celebration with all the high-class people according to their philosophy, okay? Because St. Cloud, Poinciana, and Kissimmee is not good enough for him and his family, okay? But because he's a real estate agent, he owns a lot. And legally, he can run for office and stay in that office. Nobody's made a complaint about it, nobody's would. I was told by attorneys from the Democratic Party that because the Republicans control the House, complaint is not going nowhere. But what I want to tell people is this is, you know, if you have a reason to spread the word and let people know to vote for me, tell them this one main reason. He lives in our district, his daughters attend school in this district, he has a small business in this district, my wife has a small business in this district. Anything that happens here directly affects me, and that's why I'm fighting this HOA, because it's my house that's still in limbo. Okay? I haven't missed a mortgage payment in 12 years. My house is still in limbo. And who knows what the amount is, because nobody